Hey y'all, my name is Sara and welcome to my channel. And man, I have been living out of this thing for a few years now, and I've also been on an endless pursuit of self-healing, mental clarity, and personal autonomy. Currently, I'm learning the power of story and how important it is, not just for our own lives, but also for sharing with others. Finding the narrative within our own journey asks for a bit of self-reflection, and one of the tools that I like to use within this practice is the language of the stars, or astrology. Here is where I really get to zoom out by tracking the correlations of my personal experience alongside the waves of the celestial planets. After all, the way I see astrology, it is just our own personal mythology and a way for us to connect deeper to the freedom to be who we really are. So, that being said, this is the chart that I'm going to be using, and I'll pick a handful of transits occurring and explore them a little deeper. I'll preface by saying I'm not fluent in this language, but I do enjoy being a student of the stars, and hopefully it'll encourage you to take a peek into your own story as well. Well, to start out, the sun is in Cancer at 27 degrees, and it's coming to its final days in this watery sign before entering the fiery Leo. On a collective level, we typically experience similar themes when the sun moves throughout the zodiac. Ruled by the moon, Cancer is the sign that kicks off the beginning of summer, which is an exciting coming home kind of energy, but can also be a little melancholic as every beginning also signifies an ending as well. Alongside the collective themes, there are also deeper layers of energy specific to each person. For instance, every time the sun transits through Cancer, it also occupies my 12th house of the subconscious, illuminating my connection to my spiritual and inner dream world. And it's around this time that I come home to this. Right now, journeying solo on the road provides such a chapter for me to nurture this part of my life that definitely needs some retreat and recharge. Recording. I just installed this new camera mount, so I'm testing it out while I record. And where am I? So I am in Tennessee, which has been so nice, and I am en route to West Virginia, which I'm so stoked about because I've got family I can visit up there. I'm going to explore more of the mountains and then, get my brakes replaced, which I know Eva's going to be really happy about because I've been taking her through some pretty steep mountains in the southern Appalachian, and it'll just be nice to have some fresh new brakes for the journey ahead. Yeah. Oh, I have to get some work done, so I pulled over to this lovely McDonald's parking lot where they have incredibly fast Wi-Fi that I'm going to utilize. Some sweet soul purchased a jewelry piece from my Etsy, so I'm going to assemble that and fulfill that order before I continue traveling on. Yeah, let's keep going. Another transit I've been feeling the effects of is the sun opposing my natal 6th house, Saturn. The sun, again, is our central life force. Saturn symbolizes discipline, structure, and our limitations. And the opposition is a harder aspect that asks for balance between the two. I'm being pulled between my responsibilities and the dreamy summer exploring at hand, especially where the transiting sun is positioned. I've been so eager to just continue exploring the natural world, hike the forests, and play by the river, which is why making it to West Virginia is so exciting right now. But by not ignoring my work, fitness, and healing goals, I know this will only help me to be as present as possible when I get out into nature. So this past week especially, I've been attending to van maintenance, chores, working out at the gym, and spending a good chunk of the day working. And Saturn isn't all hard work. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm feeling the blessings of my work by receiving this jewelry order and being able to share my little creations with the world. The deed is done. Now I can hit the road. I am free to keep traveling. think one more thing I want to get is a little magnet that says Tennessee on it, because I've been collecting state magnets and then just adding them to my door collection over here. I'm gonna grab one of those and then head on. Okay, I made it to West Virginia. I'm so happy. I forgot how wonderful this state is, and I feel like I almost don't want to talk too much about it because it's like a gem that I don't want to get exposed. But I do love it here quite a lot. I am gonna hang out with the family and get some dinner tonight, and then tomorrow I get my breaks done early, and then I will what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna check out some places, go to the New River Gorge, just go explore the state. Right now I just drove from Tennessee, and with no AC in the van, you're going to be guaranteed a hot, sweaty mess. So I'm at a Planet Fitness right now, and gonna shower off and get ready for dinner tonight. Okay, so I know I'm choosing a lot of sun transits to reflect on, but I can't not point out this Sun trine Neptune, which is happening on a collective level. This is our sense of self, will, and vitality, the Sun making a lovely connection with our ideals and otherworldly dreams, Neptune. There have been undertones of having a greater sense of empathy, patience, and inspiration this past week. And I've recently heard it's one thing to get a gift, it's another to receive it. And I have to reflect on this saying, because when life happens so quickly, it's challenging for me to take the time to feel into each moment with conscious awareness. But after being on the road so far, I've been able to become more present and actually receive and be grateful for the gifts in my life. Plus, I've been able to slow down and really be present with myself and others. I think this transit has been a reflection for being able to look at the abundance we already have and truly feel its blessings. So I just pulled up to the garage and eating a little bit of cantaloupe right now. I went out last night with some family and had a really good time catching up. Right now I'm waiting on one of my good friends to pick me up from the garage, and yeah, I'll just hang out today with them, and then I'll have new breaks by the end of it. So that's exciting. I do have a little bit of homework to do as far as what places I want to go explore here, but I kind of have a good idea. After my family member picked me up from the mechanics while they worked on the van, I was able to tour their peaceful yard, and it was looking quite abundant with their gardens, grapevines, and garlic patches.
Look at that little fella. Now that's a piece of garlic ready to eat.
Wow. elephant ear garlic. After a wonderful day of catching up, it was time to pick the van up, so we headed back. Yeah, and I'll deal with the settling up with them.
Get your van in it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, honey. I love you, sweetie.
I love you so much. So I got the new brakes today. I am currently heading to this gorge campsite in alongside this river, and so there's some pretty intense declines which I'm definitely needing the brakes for. I was able to spend a wonderful day with family, which was so refreshing, and now I'm just exploring more of West Virginia, and it's just beautiful here. I mean, after exploring Hawaii and Costa Rica, some of these places like out here are essentially comparable, and I've never really explored much of it, so tonight I'm gonna go camp in a gorge, so that's gonna be exciting. So I'm driving alongside this beautiful river, and I'm heading to this secluded campsite, again in the middle of nowhere, and these are definitely the moments that I live for when it comes to living in this van and getting off grid. So I made it down into the gorge, and it was a pretty steep decline. I'm actually watching some deer right now. They're in the forest in front of me, and I'm gonna see if I can't quietly go out and get a better look. Oh, I think there they are. I briefly saw them for just a moment, but they bounded back off into the woods. I have a carrot and a celery stick for them if they come back. I'm really glad that I got the brakes today because I used them very much so going down into this gorge, very steep declines, and yeah, so I'm good to go and feel very confident in Eva and continuing to travel on up north more and going over more mountain ranges. Yeah, so I'm here in West Virginia. It's beautiful, and I'm gonna enjoy not having service for a little bit. I think this is what the deer were after. They were coming over this way because they were nomming on all these apples over here. Something's eating this apple. It was definitely soothing to spend the evening down by the river, and after being alongside the water, I returned to the van for a quiet and introspective night. So, last night I slept incredibly well. The temperature was mild and not too hot. It is getting pretty toasty right now, but I'm right next to a river, so I'm excited to go play in that. But yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere again, and it's a nice letting your guard down kind of feel where you're not absorbing too much excess energy. Although it is fun for sure to be around others and then, reconnect and all that. Right now, I'm like in this phase of process, and so I've noticed that it takes some time for me personally to reflect. And sometimes it doesn't for some people. So I think as more of an introverted person, you tend to need that time. As I continue to journey forward, I'm reminded of one of the big reasons I started on this northbound voyage. And that was to participate more actively in my healing journey. With the passing moon trining and sun conjuncting my natal Chiron, this reflects what energies I'm feeling in my inner world. In astrology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer. It shows our deepest wounds and our greatest strengths. And in Greek mythology, Chiron is named after a centaur, abandoned by his family and gravely injured by a poisoned arrow. He over time became a respected healer, astrologer, prophet, and teacher. Chiron exposes our deep wounds, how we address the pain, and how our own healing powers have the ability to help others. And as I retreat into the wild, doing this whole van life thing solo, it opens up a container for me to still my mind, for seeing my thoughts, my past, and coming to the realizations of how to process and release anything stored and ready to be let go. So I'm heading out of my camp spot, and I'm gonna try and go check out this really cool overlook, and then go to town, get some more provisions, the normal, the usual. I am really enjoying this state and visiting this place. Around this time, I'm personally experiencing a Mercury opposition to my natal Neptune. Lasting for a few days, this is the energy of reason opposing the energy beyond reason. It's almost like a head in the clouds kind of vibe, where it may be easy to get lost in thought within the realm of ideal and illusion. And where the planets are placed puts a little twist on this. So my natal Neptune is in Capricorn in the 6th house. I've always felt this resonate with my desire to be of service to others in a creative way, addressing the structural and spiritual ideals of society. And with Mercury passing through Cancer in the 12th house, this is asking me to bring my Neptunian ideals back home a bit and reconnect. I'm learning it's a good thing to separate and clearly delineate time for my dreamy recharges with nature and alternate these periods with normal activities. So after this hike around the New River Gorge, I'll be heading back to town to deal with some chores, and I'm also conveniently being given the opportunity to go fishing with my family while I'm in this wonderful state of West Virginia. And if that isn't the 12th house Cancer Mercury, then I don't know what is.
This place is actually really cute. All the
It was a fun-filled day joining in the family gatherings, and I'm just lucky to have been able to participate, catching up with everybody and letting loose a little. After which, it was about that time to settle in for the night and maybe do a little homework on where I'll be exploring next. But I guess that's it. I'll leave it on that note, and thanks so much for reflecting with me while I explore these earthly adventures through the perspective of my transit chart. I'll catch you on the next one.